All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. How is everybody doing on this fine Saturday morning? Huh? Yeah. Last night was outstanding. This morning is beautiful. I took a nap. Life is good. And I'm not even Sam Bennett, and life is good. It's not even 80 degrees outside. What a beautiful Saturday morning. So, how is everybody doing? Real quick, I just want to say you guys will notice how you're not seeing your normal names anymore. You're seeing your handles, your at. That is just a feature that YouTube has brought out that they're bringing to some channels and some not. They're rolling it out. There's nothing I can do about it on my end. The only thing that you can do on your end is to change your handle to be something that we recognize your name if it's not already there. I apologize for that, but it's a total YouTube thing. There's nothing I can do about it. So it's one of those things that, like with the Zito thing being, with Zito not getting the General Manager of the Year award, how everybody on Twitter was agreeing. Even Reddit agrees that YouTube making this change was unnecessary. So when Twitter and Reddit agree on things, you know that there's a problem. All right. Blow up the chat. David, how we doing? Yeah, Zito got screwed again. Ain't that the truth? Right? Yeah, Hungry. Somehow getting a disgruntled Rantanen from the Canes is more impressive than building back-to-back championship teams. Maybe that one. Oh, I mean, 12 people didn't even put him on his ballot. I mean, come on. How do you not? It's just, it completely discredits the award. Hey, Bucks, how you doing, buddy? Colin, yeah, Bennett's buddies will continue. Yeah, I saw that. Bennett just had, about an hour ago, had a little bit of a press conference there over Zoom, and good stuff. Simon, how you doing, buddy? Yeah. Next year, Simon, I'm gonna have a little bit of an intro video for you guys to watch for the 2 to 3 minutes to let everybody get in here. Yeah, the second round of the draft is today. I saw a lot of time. Yeah, this is what Hungry's saying. The draft presentation last night was all-time awful. What were they thinking? So Hungry, apparently it was asked for by the GMs. They voted 26-6. The general managers wanted to be in their own places without having to do all the travel and having other teams be able to see what they were doing. This is what the general managers asked for. Now, I think the presentation could have been done differently, right? But that's why Bettman did it. Hey, Patel, appreciate that. Yeah, it looks. Hopefully, we should be good to go. Now, I'm still switching the camera out. I got the stand for my action camera, but I just got to find something to place it on, like right in front of the desk, because this desk ends right here. I don't think it'll be right if I put it here. I think that'd be too close. We'll have to see. But some point this week, the picture should be even much better. And then I got to work on getting my mic situation. We're going to replace this. I've got a Rode over here that I need to start using, but we had some problems with it dropping off when the volume got too loud. So that's a work in progress. Hey, Anthony says, Jaws, if we lose Aaron, do I think we just go a restricted free agency and get a younger guy that we can mold in the top of the defenseman that we want? No. If we lose Aaron, Jones is going to be next to Forsling, and we'll probably go get somebody that we probably never heard of to put with Mikkola. And I don't mean that as an insult. I know some people think maybe we make a move for Rasmus Anderson. Just don't know how much capital we have to go getting a guy like that and paying him. So I have a feeling that Zito would just go get another Mikkola, so to speak, and pair him with Mikkola. And I trust them fully if that happens. Hungry, yeah, YouTube in its infinite wisdom doing things that make no sense, right? Exactly, communist. We'll take the 2 cups. Oh, you got your crazy Canuck Jr. You're wearing your new champions hat in Edmonton this weekend. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, exactly, Anthony. Just move Seth to the first pair with Gustav. So yeah, I don't know how Young will go that way. I think it'd be more of a guy that's already been around for a few years to put with Mikkola. David, yeah, anyone who didn't have on the ballot should not be allowed to vote again, right? So Trevor wants to know if we can keep Ekblad and Marchand. Yes, but not without moving Rodriguez. If you can get Marchand and Ekblad low enough, you have to move. You're going to still have to move Rodriguez. I will be honest. The fact that Bennett got 8 instead of 7.5 tells me that they may already know that Ekblad's not staying. That's at 7.5 with Bennett getting 7.5. That would have given me like, oh, I think maybe for sure Ekblad is staying. But him getting 8 makes me feel like Zito kind of thinks he has a little bit more money to play with. We'll see. Communist says, which fan base will be mad at us for the Bennett contract? All of them. Frank wants to extend Seth Griffith. Where is he, by the way? Anybody know? So Ryan's got to the point where he has to talk about Lightning has 7 draft picks and the Panthers have 0 draft picks in the first 3 rounds. Yeah, that's just because we keep stealing everybody else's good players. No, I can't imagine why we would try to trade up at this point. I don't see where it's necessary. Simon, no, in terms of what YouTube did, it's totally random. A buddy of mine sent me a channel that had like 1 million subscribers and they didn't have it. Like for you guys in the chat, there's that leaderboard, but that's another feature that YouTube is bringing out slowly. I have it on the football channel, but not on the hockey channel, which makes no sense. The feature I have on this channel is a goal. So like, I'm not even crazy about it. It's like, I guess I can put a goal for super chats at the top of the stream. But to me, that's kind of like saying, all right, I want $200. It doesn't sit right with me, like placing a goal there for like, this is how much money I want to make for this stream. I don't think I'll use that feature because that doesn't sit right for me. It just doesn't. Hungry says, seeing the Leaf fans saying we overpaid for Bennett has to be unheard of levels of irony. I keep saying it. Every time I said 8x8, I would clarify it by saying, I know it's an overpay, but you're paying Bennett 6.5 to 7, and the rest of that money you're paying to keep Anton Lundell at 3C. And then the moment that Bennett regresses at all, you just flip him, and you've got the same advantage of having the best 3C in the league all over again. David says, then again, Zito enjoying the run we are on far more than any old boy network award. Yes, I agree. Colin says, get Gudis if Ekblad leaves. I don't know what Anaheim would take for him. We could probably afford his salary. Gudis Mikkola would be beautiful. Send the 2 that we just got, right? Send the 2 and the 6 that we just got for Sordif. Would that be enough, Colin? Hey, Wes, congrats on keeping Bennett. I need the whole team back next year as an Oilers fans. I need that same team back for the final. Gotcha. I understand. I don't know, Brady. I don't know how he doesn't get it. They gave it to Nil 3 times. They gave it to Lamoriello 2 times in a row as well. Hi, Donna. Yeah, you're at. Yeah, we got to fix that. We got to fix that. For everybody who's not sure, that's Mrs. Jaws. We got to change that. Frank says, Nick Hague from Vegas, 6'6" shutdown D-man. If they sign Marner, they got to clear some kind of crap. Is he right? Is he a righty, Frank? Because I think certainly we would want to replace Ekblad with a righty. Hungry says, realistically speaking, how much would a middle pair D-man cost in the trade market? There seem to be a lot of teams that seem to be shifting strategies this offseason. There could be an opportunity there. I don't know. I mean, maybe it could end up being a situation of Hungry where it's Rodriguez for the D-man. Is Rodriguez worth the middle D-man? Possibly to the right team. Maybe you got to throw in an extra pick depending on how young the guy is. But maybe that can be the deal. Lil J says, chances are we re-sign Marshy, Nosek, Samo, and Schmidt and just run this team back without Ekblad. I mean, that could happen. I'm not saying I'd love to have it without Ekblad, but if we were able to re-sign everybody and with Marchand, well, we wouldn't be able to. No, we actually could do that and keep Erod. Right? If Schmidt took a low enough number, we could probably do that and keep Erod. Yeah. We'll see. I haven't heard anything about Schmidt. Would suck to not want him back, though. David, do you think Nosek's probably gone as well? Probably. But I would love to see it not happen. Katie says, part of me wonders why Bennett, Eki, and Marshy and Zito can't get in the same room and figure out how we can keep the band together. That's going to be Ekblad. That's going to be Ekblad. No disrespect to him. Everybody's got to handle their business the way they handle it. But that's just my 2 cents there. I think Ekblad might be playing a little bit of hardball. You know, if we gave Bennett 8, we've got to probably be offering X6. I would suspect we're probably offering him 6, and he's just telling them, I'm not going to take a pay cut. Because if you gave him 6, that's 14. If you traded Rodriguez, you've got 8 left. You could fill out the roster with Marchand that way. Yeah, exactly, Kazuma. Hey, Ted. It says Panthers got a good deal with the Bennett contract. He could have tested the free agent market to jack up his price. Exactly. Anthony says, does hockey work like what you see with football where people have to sometimes draft younger players to extend the Super Bowl window, with the Panthers having to do that in the next 2 to 3 years? It's a little bit different. It's not quite the same because when you draft a football player, he's coming in, right? I mean, it doesn't matter if he's a 5th round, 6th round pick. You expect them. You're drafting guys that for the most part you feel are NFL ready. But with hockey, you draft a guy now, unless you're drafting a superstar, you know, you're drafting a Bedard or somebody like Lundell who's pretty much ready. For the most part, you draft a guy 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. He's got 2 years at a bare minimum at the AHL, at a bare minimum, before you even start thinking about bringing him up. So you're looking, when you're drafting guys now, you're looking at guys that might start coming in 4 years, 5 years from now and contributing as our older guys, as the guys get older. Yeah, Bennett, I'm so happy that the Bennett's buddies gets to stay. Yeah. I know. Zito was snubbed again, man. Did I see that Habs fans are upset that Montreal gave up first picks this year for Dobb? They were upset about that? I didn't see that. I did not see that. Fake news. Rumors are Crosby to the Avs. Huh. That's interesting. That would help Colorado for sure. Where were they? What What line would he end up on? Actually says, is Rasmus Anderson a viable option if Ekblad leaves? Yes and no. I think we looked at this yesterday, but we'll look at it again. There we go. Rasmus Anderson contract. So he's making $4.5 per. So he's got 1 year left on the contract. So we could trade for him and probably fit him in. That's actually a possibility, because you could afford his cap hit, and I bet you we could get Calgary to take some of that hit too. We could probably get Calgary to take $1 million off of that to help us out. But then we'd have to pay him. Right, we'd have to give him a raise after this season. Now, what would Calgary want for him? That's a whole different question. Would it take Marsh over Ekblad? That's such a tough call, man. Honestly, probably not. Probably not. As much as I would love to keep Marchand, if you sign Ekblad, but you can't sign Marchand, you just got Rodriguez there to take over on that third line and worry about anything else that you need to do with the trade deadline. I would love to have Marchand, but unless you can swing a deal for something like that with Anderson, but that takes assets. Would they take, would Calgary take Rodriguez and a pick for Anderson? Probably have to give up a little bit more than that. I don't know. Yeah, actually, I don't know if the Flames ever want to trade with Florida again. Yeah, that's true. David says, name 5 other defensemen who can lock down other teams' best guys, plays power play, and scores a lot. Not sure there are 5. And then they got to be a right-handed shot. Yeah. I know, Shafasi, the GM of the Year award, man, just sucks. Hey, Hurricanes fan. It didn't work yet, Donna? Maybe it'll take. Well, after this stream, I'll come over and try to help you with it. You can't have a space there. It's got to just be Miss Jaws. It may not let you do the period. It may not let you do the punctuation too. Colin says, "Say no to pasta." Right? Yeah, the rumors are crazy this year, Bex. SP says, just got on. Sure, we spoke on Marchand. Toronto is crazy. What are my thoughts if he stays? I'd love to have him stay. I think he'd be the easier contract to get done, but I think they're still trying to get, Ekblad situated. Yeah, you have to change the name. You can't have any special characters other than underscores. Yeah. Colin says the Sid to Kid to the Avs is fake. His agent debunked it. Well, there you go. Gotcha. He said he got bad info from his source. That's because they're just making shit up. That's why. Like I said in this morning's video, 98% of those sources are just. My brother texted me this morning and said I call it the REO Speedwagon effect. Heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from another. That's what we get this time of the year. Simon, so in terms of the rest of the weekend, if something happens, we'll go. I'm here today now at noon. If nothing happens, I don't know if we'll go live tonight. We'll see how it goes. If there's any kind of big NHL news, we'll go live tonight. Uh-oh. We just had a whole house power flash. Am I still here? I guess I'm still here. They probably just reset all the clocks in the house. Somehow I'm still here. That's good. If something happens, I'll be back. If we power flash out, I'll be back. Magna. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't be opposed to starting with Megna at least at 70. I don't know about number 6. He did show well. I don't think you're going into the playoffs next year with Megna. He's not a young guy. He's 32. So he played well for us. He did look good. He's a big guy. Could he be somebody that ends up on the bottom pair with Kulikov? Maybe, if he can eat minutes. I know Maurice liked him. When he came up. Yeah, and you say no to Perry, too. Hungry, yeah, like the pasta sources. Exactly. How many afternoon games would they play? We don't play a whole lot of them. Thankfully. I'm here. Okay, good. Kuzuma says, yes, sources, I made it the F up, right? Fly, you think Mega is gonna be a piece of the roster? Bex, Jim Nill of Dallas. I just don't see why we would need Perry. Like, people are forgetting about Rodriguez. We only need to move Rodriguez if we're signing Ekblad and Marchand. If we gave Bennett 8, let's say we give Ekblad 7. All we need at that point is Samoskevich, Tarasov, and 7D. So if Ekblad signs for 7 and we don't go after and we don't keep Marchand, that still gives us $4 million in cap space. So $1.50 for Samoskevich, $1.50 for Tarasov, and $1 million for 7D, and the roster is set. You don't have to trade Rodriguez. So there would be no reason to go get anybody else. I think the only reason you're even considering, well, you do need a 4C, right? But when you sign Samoskevich, you need 2 for Samoskevich. Damn it. Yeah, this is the circle we keep going around and around and around in. I don't see how Erod stays. There we go. There's another Mrs. Jaws out there. No way. That's not on me. That's got to be somebody who called themselves Mrs. Jaws because of the movie. Oh man, YouTube trying to get me in trouble. YouTube trying to. That's not me. It wasn't me. Oh man, that's funny. So yeah, but I still wouldn't want Corey Perry, right? I still would, and that wouldn't do us any good because the piece we would still need is a 4C. You could maybe clear out Boquist. If you cleared out Boquist for a 4C, you could keep. Where would Rodriguez even play? No, Rodriguez would play next to Lundell and Luosterainen. A Chinese player got drafted. That's interesting. Bex, yeah, that's exactly what happened. I said that at the beginning of the stream, so I'll reiterate it. In terms of everybody seeing your @ instead of the names, that is something that YouTube is testing out on some channels and not other channels. So it is. No, it's okay, Bex. A lot of people, I said it at the beginning, so a lot of people probably didn't hear it. Haoxi Wong, a 6'6" Chinese Titan. Wow. Okay, that's awesome. That's a hell of a name, too. Wang? Yeah, Wang. I thought it was an O there. Wow. Wang on skates. 6'6". Holy crap. Well, that's interesting. So yeah, but in terms of why would we want to bring Corey Perry in for, I mean, he's the kiss of death, too, right? You know? He's the kiss of death there. Their podcast doing a giveaway for a signed Ekblad puck. If Jaws won and did a video trying to get unblacked by Ekblad. I think I already have an Ekblad signed puck around here somewhere. Was it Ekblad? No, I think it was Barkov. Yeah. The Sens are trading Jordan Spencer. So Miami Sports, is McCarr free agent next year? So can we sign a cheap defenseman and sign McCarr next year if he's a free agent? I don't know if that would be something we could even afford. I don't know if that'd be something that we could even afford. I mean, he's going to might be out of our price range. Because we already got, if Ekblad leaves, we already got Forsling and Jones as the top pair. I mean, McCarr wouldn't hurt, but then that circles all the way back to the question of how much is Bobrovsky going to want on his extension. We got to get that extension done, Bill. I know you're watching. What are we doing? Wang on Skates sounds like an 80s comedy title. Yeah. Oh, he's maybe half Canadian. We'll just say, I also don't know why he would join us after beating him twice. Well, now that Marchand, right? That's what Marchand did, though. But I don't want Corey Perry. We would only need a center anyway, and we wouldn't even need that pending what we did with Rodriguez. I know that's a lot of money to pay for a 4C. One wild and crazy guy says, I wouldn't be surprised if Marchand isn't highly motivated by Monday. He's older and loaded. I think he'll stay. Am I being stupid? No, I don't think you're being stupid at all. Not at all. Miami. Oh, that's Damien. Okay. Gotcha. Thanks. Eventually we'll remember everybody's name again, and then YouTube will change it back. It really sucks that they don't give us the option. G says, enough with the oldies, more young blood. Marchand is way different unicorn from Perry. Age not showing much at all in speed. No, he didn't look. He looked just fine, right? He looked just fine. We'll see how it all works out. Okay, so back to business. I missed a couple things up here. He's a D-man. The Chinese guy's a D-man. God. And what rounds are they doing today? What rounds are they doing today? So I don't necessarily disagree with getting in more young blood, but I think we made an obvious statement by trading Sordev. Like, to me, when that trade went down, I kind of felt like that meant Marchand is staying. I'll say the whole rest of the draft is today. Okay. Simon, yeah, a lot of trades will happen during the draft. Yeah. Gold Cat says, crazy how a few years ago we were considered a laughing stock, and now we have 2 cups. That's more than like 14 teams in the league. Yep. Not the first 3-4 years of this channel was just bitching and moaning and groaning and complaining because they were so bad. I mean, that's why I started the channel. All right, so it's the rest. So what do we have left? What do we got? Like a 4 and a... We don't have much left, do we? Let's see. What do we don't need? We don't need the. Let me see. What do we got? We have 2 4s. This might not be up to date. I don't know. This is Puckpedia. It's saying that we have 2 4s, a 5, 6, and a 7. And I know we just traded a 5, so I don't know if that's the 5 that we traded away or not. So we got 2 4s. Now, next year, we've got 2 2s. So that's not terrible. And then things start looking normal again in 27 with we don't have a first round pick there either. We don't have a first round pick till 28. God dang. Simon Wang is 17, 198 pounds, 6.6 in a D-man. 6'6", 198. God dang. Holy crap. I mean, that's eat a cheeseburger, buddy. Holy crap. Yeah, Forsman was about 24, I think, when we got him. Yeah, Damien, we'll be live. We'll be live Monday at noon. But in terms of free agency, that's Tuesday, right? Tuesday is July 1st, right? But yeah, in terms of being live for free agency, we'll be. If anything happens, we'll be live now. But then for free agency, we'll be live completely. Kyle and I are going to be set up in different places, so we'll be on together so that we can both be on at the same time. Now that my internet can handle it. G says that when I say younger, I mean players that still have some potential to grow, like Forsling, not necessarily complete rookies. Gotcha. We kind of did that at goalie, right? Kind of did that with Tarasov. The idea is growing on me a little bit. I know we're still going to sign one more veteran guy. I still want Alex Lyon, even if he's going to be our AHL guy. Yeah, it sounds Condor-like, right? Yeah, Mikola's kind of lanky too. Yeah, 198. Oh, it's going to be – hold on a second. Let me see. No, man, July 1st is Tuesday. July 1st is Tuesday. I'm looking at it right now. July 1st is Tuesday. Yeah, they're Donna's got it for you. We start getting texts about happenings. We go live on the spot. No, I don't think you're excited to hear when we sign Marchand. No, we haven't gotten Marchand yet. Unless you know something we don't. Donna, you know something we don't? You know something we don't, babe? Huh? Are you on Twitter and we just signed Marchand? If you Google it, you get all of the fake news talking about how he's going to Toronto. Okay. No, it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. No, that's okay. That's okay, Damien. You have me worried because I have a dentist appointment on the 3rd, so it was screwing my head. That's okay. Yes, all right. 17, he's got lots of time to put on muscle. Yeah. Okay. Gibson to the Red Wings? Really? Babe. Yeah, with my luck, the moment I end the stream, they'll announce that he gets re-signed. That's okay. I'll get all the extra ad revenue because if I have to end the stream and start it over again, y'all got to watch another ad. Hopefully I need to eat lunch first, guys. So we'll finish this stream. I'll eat lunch and then Bill. Then I want the Sam Miskevich contract. That's the one I'm waiting for. That's really important contract. Fly Guy says, why would Marshy request to be moved to Florida? Because he wants to win, just for him to turn around and leave for another team with worse chances of winning. Mazurek, whoa, what are all these trades all of a sudden? Are you sure, Damien? Are you trolling me? Gibson to the Red Wings and Mazurek to the Ducks? So that's real? Wow, so who the Oilers going to get? Didn't somebody say they were going after Stolars, though? See, now I don't. Yeah, you're sure? Okay. Just nobody troll me. Nobody give me any fake news, and we're good. Hold on a second. I got to go turn off this air conditioner. It's freezing in here. So Mazurek for Gibson. Yeah, what else? That can't be a one-for-one deal, right? Yeah, exactly, Hungry. It's got to be something else. It's not public. No, I believe you. If you're telling me the truth, then I believe you. I just didn't know if somebody was, like Trey will come on here in any minute now and start talking about we just traded Sam Miskevich for pasta. Don't get me started. All right, so yeah, you think it couldn't be a one-for-one deal, right? That probably wouldn't work. Now I know what. So what is Anaheim? Does Anaheim have a goalie? Or they're not going to go with Mazurek, right? I mean, that you think it's 2 picks? Yeah. Hungry says no. Sam Miskevich getting traded for Crosby. Simon, yeah, man, it's a good thing what Kyle and I get to do. Yeah, the internet is good to go. They still got to bury the line, but it's so much nicer now. I don't have to worry about when I go looking at certain things. If I open up tabs and show you guys things, now I know my internet can handle it. It's a beautiful thing. Absolutely. Sam Miskevich is going to get 2 by 1.3 quarters. Yeah. Hey, Ted, I appreciate that, but I got something coming next week. We'll talk about that when we got a lot of people in here on Tuesday. I got something on the men's channel coming next week that is going to completely not change the channel, but it's a good thing. It's a whole 90-day program. Yeah, the internet is great now. I'm loving this. There's no more problems. It's just fantastic. Wes says there's no goalie worth giving up a 26-year-old Skinner. There's no goalie worth giving up on a 26-year-old Skinner. Maybe get Vanacek instead of Picard. So if Elliot Freeman says he heard Marchand could re-sign with Florida, I mean, usually Freeman is pretty accurate. That's like one of the 2 or 3 guys that if he says it, I consider it as close to done as possible. Usually Freeman doesn't say anything until he hears from the right people. There's no, you know what I mean? So that would be good news. And I know that's the thing about Skinner is like he's 26. So he's still in that range. Remember how long it took Markstrom to get good, right? Here's the question. If Edmonton doesn't play Florida this year and they play Toronto or Carolina, did Skinner play well enough this series to win? No. Did Skinner play well enough in the back end of the first series against the Panthers? Yes. I mean, for crying out loud, he played Game 7 of a Stanley Cup final and only gave up 2 goals and lost. So to me, his biggest problem is inconsistency. You never know which guy you're getting. And that, to me, I would kind of feel like is a mental thing. I don't, you know what I mean? If to me, that's especially the beginning of these games. But we can explain it away all we want. I think at some point, if you're McDavid, that's the thing you got to take into consideration. If McDavid wants a better goalie before he'll sign an extension, then it doesn't matter if you think you want to not give up on Skinner. If you want to keep McDavid around, you're going to have to find a way to move on. So, and he's the same age. That's Tarasov is 26 too, right? So it's interesting. It's an interesting juxtaposition how people are viewing Tarasov as this young guy you can learn behind Bobrovsky, right? But then Skinner, people already want to give up on him, and it's the same. They're the same age, and Skinner's been to 2 Cup finals. So, and I know he's had his inconsistencies and all of that, but if he could ever stay the good version of himself, for the most part, he'd be pretty good. It's just if you're Edmonton, I almost agree with the idea of having a better backup, because if you're going to go with Skinner, you know you're going to use your backup. You know what I mean? David says Skinner is better than pretty much everyone available. Yeah, I mean, we looked at this. We looked at this before. The free agent goalie market. Here we go. If you're not going to go for a trade, you've got Robin Leonard, Cal Peterson, Husso, Jake Allen, Vanacek, Gorgiev. You want to go with Gorgiev? I mean, Forsberg, Vladar, but he's still kind of an unknown and not young. Now, Levi for Buffalo is still a free agent. I'm assuming they're going to sign him. They still have Tarasov on this list. So, yeah, see, they've got Tarasov listed as a free agent because he doesn't have a contract yet. So you know that extension is coming. I would assume we're going to get a lot of moves, contracts today. But Tarasov, Reimer, Kokkonen, Riddick, Soderblom, Tolopilo, Romanov, Dobish. Montreal is not letting him go. So where's his contract? And then there's Alex Lyon. So any of those names on that list, none of those names on that list are going to make McDavid go, oh, okay, now I'll stay. You know what I mean? None of those names there are gonna have McDavid saying, okay, sure, I'll stay now that we got that guy. So you got to go to the trade market. So now if Gibson's already done, now let's think about that for a minute. How serious is Edmonton looking if they just moved them for Mrazek and 2 picks? How serious is Edmonton actually looking, unless they just weren't even thinking about Gibson? A couple people here mentioned he was looking at they were looking at Stolars. Why would Toronto do that? Would they just want to make the move to Wall? But the assets I would not just give away Stolars. You've got 2 really good goalies there. That's a really good position to be in. You know, you would be trading Stolars to a team that you could possibly, if Toronto has hopes of getting to the finals, you'd probably be supplying the team you would be likely to play in the finals with their goalie. I'm not so sure. Ted, when Marchand signs, I got to do breaking news. Yeah, for sure. We'll be live. Well, when Samoskevich gets his extension, probably Marchand, and we'll be live all day Tuesday. So Hungry says, doubt that this would even be an option, but how does Wolf compare to Skinner? Or Wolf? Yeah. Let's look at his numbers. I mean, Joseph, he's kind of been a little bit inconsistent, but he's young. He's young. What is he? 20 what? He's 26. It's actually the same age. I thought he was younger. So his playoff numbers this year weren't great. His career playoff numbers aren't bad. 273 and a 906. His career numbers are 274 and a 910. I mean, that's plenty good. That's plenty good. His playoff numbers up until this season were fantastic, but he didn't play as many games. In 22-23, he played 4 games at 2.43 and a 9.15. Last season, he played 3 games, had a .86 and a 9.64. And then this year it was terrible. He played 7 games, had a 3.56 and an 8.86. And most of that obviously being Stolarz, right? Because he started the 6 games. So, I mean, Florida. Most of those were when he played against Florida. So there's your answer. How does he compare to Skinner? Florida, he started 6 games against the Panthers and had a 3.56 and an 8.86. So I don't think that they would be looking for Woll because Florida, you know what I mean? Florida already took care of him. A Wolf. Oh, well, shit. Hold on a second. Let me get there. Hold on a second. All right, Dustin Wolf. As if Calgary would pick up the phone. So he's 24. He's not the biggest guy, 6 foot 166. He was pretty damn good this year. 264 with a 910 with 53 starts. Why would Calgary? I mean, that's Calgary's goalie, right? Like, why would they? I mean, why would Calgary help Edmonton? Right? Yeah, no, he's what's his contract? When is he fixing to get paid? God, he signed a 2-year, $1.7 million contract. So he's basically making minimum wage. And so he's got this upcoming year, and then he'll be an RFA. And if he plays that way for another full season, Calgary's going to want to get him signed because he's going to want to he'll be highly sought after if he plays like that for another season. Zuma says Freeman thinks Marner will head to Vegas. That sounds about right. Yeah. Ryan Reese says Stolarz didn't get traded from Toronto. He signed a 2-year contract. Oh, okay. Let's see. Is that just happening right now? I thought he already had a contract. Yeah, he got that was he still got he's in the second year of that contract. God, he's so big, 6'6", 243. Does he have a no move clause? He's got a modified no trade clause. He's got a modified no trade clause. Dave says, how to return to say stop saying like that. It's Calgary. What? Calgary? I see. Calgary. Wes says, I still want Marner to go to Carolina so he can beat the Leafs in 5. Oh, my God. Yeah, Vegas sounds about right. Vegas sounds just about right for Marner. I don't know what their cap situation is, but that's he seems like a Vegas player. He seems like he'll do just fine there. Colin. Yeah, somebody said it above. I guess Gibson to the Wings. I guess for Mrazek and some picks. So the Wings, that's gonna make them. I don't know if that's gonna make them a playoff team. I mean, good luck in the Atlantic, right? Good luck in the Atlantic trying to break in to being a playoff team in the Atlantic. And I think that's partially why Boston just decided finally to tear it down because, I mean, Florida's not going anywhere. Toronto's still going to be a playoff team at worst. Tampa still going to be a playoff team at worst, right? Unless something happens to Vasilevsky. Montreal's going to be good for a while. Ottawa could be, I mean, the Wings could compete with Ottawa. You know, there's no guarantee that they're going to continue to, you know, remember the Panthers were kind of, you know, dinging around that bubble playoff spot for a while before they got good. The Vegas cap is not good. Yeah, they would need to. Yeah, I heard something about, I read something about, let's look at Vegas's cap situation. They got $5.6 million in cap space, and they've got 11 forwards signed, 6 defensemen signed. So Pietrangelo, full no move clause, Theodore, Hannafin, McNabb, and Whitecloud. Whitecloud doesn't have a no trade. To make room for Marner, though, you're talking about having to clear. They'd have to clear like $10 million because they still need some money to clear out space. I mean, Marner's going to get 12 at least, right? Even if you get him to take 11, you still got to clear out like $8 million, basically, so you have money to fill out the rest of your roster. Trading Carlson wouldn't be enough. You'd have to trade Carlson and somebody else making like maybe, if you trade Carlson, that's 6. Like trading Carlson would give you enough money to sign Marner, but you would not have enough money to flush out the rest of the roster. And they did just get Riley Smith on a 1-year deal. So Riley Smith got his 1-year, $2 million deal, but he also got a no trade clause on it. Good for him. Good for him. He said, I'll play a year for cheap, but you can't move me at the deadline unless I agree to it. Now you could move Barbashev. That's $5 million. If that's what you know what I mean. But, you know, Stone is 33. Eichel's not really. Eichel now, that's another thing. If they were thinking about Marner, Eichel's in the last year of his deal. That's another thing that they're going to have to figure out, because if they go buying Marner at $12 million, what are they going to pay Eichel? They start getting themselves into problems there. Yeah, Vegas, I don't know about that. Anthony says winning conference titles and cups, because it seems like the tax-free argument has only come up for Florida, Texas, and, of course, Vegas. Yeah, the whole tax thing is just, it's like the wage gap. It's just kind of been debunked, right? Anthony, I think the resentment from the original 6 is exactly that. It's just resentment. Hockey, much more than any other sport, was a very niche sport, a very cliquish sport. And, you know, I don't know this, but I would assume, I would wonder how, back in the day, I wonder how the hockey purists viewed expansion. Like, I wonder if a lot of the fans and the owners, well, the owners probably wanted it, but I wonder just how the fans felt about the expansion. And, you know, There's a lot of people, they still say, hockey doesn't belong in Florida. There's no ice, blah, blah, blah. And it's just jealousy. It's just jealousy. And it's understandable. Canadian team hasn't won the cup since long before my kids were born. You know what I mean? I get it. Yeah, Vasilevsky would rather retire as a Lightning. Yeah, I don't think Vasilevsky's going in there. Ryan, when I say something happened to Vasilevsky, I just meant like get hurt, right? Exactly, David. Jackson says, hey, Jaws, I think resentment mostly comes from the Canadian teams. I really don't see the New England teams hating on the Panthers as much. That's probably accurate. Sure. It's not coming from any of the newer teams. You know what I mean? I always tell the story when I first moved here 10 years ago, and we were looking at another little property a few miles away. It was a beat-up house we were going to try to rehab. And I talked to the guy. We were just chatting and everything back and forth. And it wasn't even 10 years ago. It was when Yager, might have been 10 years ago. It was when Yager was playing for the Panthers. And I got to talking to him. And he was from Philadelphia. He was a hockey fan. He was a Flyers fan. And he didn't even know that, not just that Yager was still playing, but he didn't know the Panthers still existed. I thought they moved. They're still playing? I'm like, yeah, man. Yeah, I run a channel about it. It was crazy. So I there's a lot more casual fans that think of hockey that just kind of don't pay attention. People don't pay attention as intricately as they do with football because it's not in the news as much, right? So you got your fans like us that are rabid, and then you got the people that just kind of show up to a game every once in a while. And it's the comings and goings of players and the happenings in the league aren't front page news, right? So it's not in people's consciousness. So if they have to search out the news for it and look for it. David says Marner has the skills, but his game's not suited to the playoffs. Somebody's going to pay him, though. Somebody's going to pay him. I tried to tell him, I said, Marner is just Huberdeau with more goals. Hey, Jake, how you doing, bud? Says, I still remember meeting some kid from Canada who came with his mother to visit my grandmother. I brought up the Panthers, and he gave me the smuggest look and said, no one cares about the Panthers. Yeah. I made a video in fact, that was one of the only other videos I made talking about Dangle, because he said that the Panthers are irrelevant. It was I think it was the first year that we went to the Cup against Vegas. I think it was that year where he was saying that the Panthers were irrelevant. I think the video is on my channel somewhere. Yeah. So it's exactly how we're viewed, you know. I mean, they said either the Canes or the Golden Knights. Now, Marner to Carolina would be Marner playing in that system, though. If he's smart, he would go to Vegas. He have a good time in Vegas. He'll get paid. But going to play in Brindamore's system, well, why would he want to do that? David says it's a Florida thing. If you lived on some frozen plain in Canada, I hate us too. That's probably true. Yeah, exactly, Katie. Marner already nixed the trade to Carolina. That's a really good point. Yeah. So wouldn't that be something? Boy, wouldn't that piss off Leaf fans if they didn't get Rantanen because Marner nixed the trade and then he went to Carolina? I mean, do Leaf fans really deserve that? That's kind of evil. That would be really, really mean. I mean, seriously, I'm not gonna laugh at that possibility. That's dark. That would just not be okay if he did that, man. Andre says the only encounter like that I ever had was with the Bruins fans during the 2013 All-Star game. He literally said to me that this was the closest the Cup will ever be to the Cats. Right? Fly Guy says, Marner turned down the trade for Rantanen because his wife was pregnant with 2 to 3 months left. Oh, man. See, I didn't know that. Damn. Dang. That's rough. Yeah, but I get it. Soblo says, crazy people saying Bennett got overpaid. Like they haven't looked at the free agent market in years. Noah Dobson just signed for 9.5. Paterka got 7 by 7. Yeah, look, what I've been saying all this time. I was saying, give him the 8 by 8. I said, if he wants 8 by 8, give him the 8 by 8. Is it overpay? Maybe. It can be argued. It can be argued because of his points production. But on this team, you're paying him $6.5 to $7 million. And the extra money is because that keeps Lundell at 3C. Keeping Lundell at 3C at just wide open, the cup window just wide open. And then, like I said on Twitter, the day that you think that Sam Bennett might have regressed even a little bit, you just flip-flop Lundell and Bennett, and you still have the advantage of having the best 3C in the league. It's just you couldn't write a script. Like if you were trying to write a script for how to have the center position on your team set at 1, 2, 3, you couldn't write it better. I mean, you got the best two-way forward in the game at $10 million on the top line. You got the best center, a third center in the league, in my opinion. And when Bennett starts to drop off just a little bit, you put Lundell at 2C, you put Bennett at 3C, and we still have the same advantage. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Now, if we could get ourselves a permanent 4C, that would be fantastic. But we still seem to be doing pretty good with getting a new 4C every year. Craig says Bennett's deal and the other set so far sets us up an easy 3 to 5 year cup window. Yeah. Look, I mean, there's no guarantees, but this team could just be getting started. Wes says, people in your own city did not know who Matthew Tkachuk was. Most Canadian fans are happy that Florida is doing good. Growth of hockey is never a bad thing. Yeah, no, I don't live there, but yeah, no, a lot of people didn't know who Tkachuk was. Sure. But that goes back to what I was saying, that it's not front page news. Like Dolphin fans know what's going on with the Jets or what's going on with the Eagles or whoever, because it's front page. If something happens in football, everybody hears about it. Everybody knows about it. With hockey, what? Some guy from Calgary? How nobody in Florida up until the last few years, that doesn't even make practically the back page because it's just not the same size of the fan base. So Sovlo says towards the back end of the contract, sure, it'll be an overpay, but the same can be said about Reinhart and Swaggy. I mean, that's just how you have to play the game. Well, I don't know though, Soflo. I don't know, because think about it now. We're happy as hell with Lundell's contract, right? $5 million. That's at 3C, $5 million. By the time Bennett gets to playing 3C, I think we will feel the same way about his $8 million that we feel about Lundell's $5 million, because with the cap going up, that's the thing here, is that the cap is going to continue to increase, and we keep getting these guys on long-term, really good deals. Like, we're going to have money to burn in a couple of years if we need to move Verhaeghe or Bennett or if we need to move any of those guys to like the third line, we're going to have money to burn to bring in guys or to extend guys that are younger, to just kind of, like I said with Bennett and Lundell, just kind of flip things a little bit. Jake says, you got to hand it to Biz. He knows how to take advantage of his situation. People buying his Biz Idiot shirts. Yeah, I know. Good for him, right? You got to roll with what you get brought. All right, everybody, I'm going to roll. I got to go get some lunch. Help this throat out. We'll see if anything else happens the rest of the day. We're here. So if something happens, we'll immediately go live, immediately-ish, right? And if nothing happens between now and then, I'll be live again tomorrow at noon. So no questions there. I would expect I want the Samus. I'm not worried about Marchand. Give me the Sam Iskevich extension. That's the one I want to hear about. A 2-year, 1.75 bridge deal. That's what I want for today. We'll deal with Marchand tomorrow. Just sign Sam Iskevich. I don't want any more rumors about are we going to sign Sam Iskevich. I just want that. Just get it done. Just get it done, Bill. All right, everybody. Appreciate all love and support. Colin wants an Ekblad extension. We'll take that too. Yeah, see me in an hour. Yeah, I go get some food. All right, everybody. We'll see you later.